Hey guys, Mr. Baines here to talk about multiplying and dividing fractions. Let's get started. First things first, add this to your table of contents. Make sure the date and page number are correct in your notebook. Go ahead and pause it. All right. Learning objectives, pretty simple. I will be able to multiply and divide fractions. Another way to say this, I will be able to find the product and the quotient of fraction problems. Let's start with, I think, the easier of the two, multiplying fractions. Actually, they're both pretty easy, but multiplying fractions. Step one, multiply both numerators and write your answer as the numerator. So look at just the top two numbers, the numerators. 4 times 3 is 12, and you write that there. Multiply both denominators and write your answer as the denominator. So 6 and 9, so you do 6 times 9, 54. 12's on top, 54's on bottom. And then simplify the fraction until you can't get any smaller. So if I divide both of these by 6, I get 2/9. And I cannot get smaller than 2/9. Both of these are the correct answer, but this is the simplest answer. If I were to draw pictures for you, here's what's happening. If you had a square and it had side length 4/6. So let's say this was an inch and it only measured 4/6 of an inch this way. Okay, and then you measured the other side of the square and it was 3 out of 9 inches. So if this was the full inch, it would only be 3/9 of an inch. Okay. So when you multiply these two together, so you get the length and the height, the width of this, just this part is what's shaded in. Okay, so when you combine these, imagine I slipped these two together, you'd get 54 boxes. The orange ones would all be colored in and the green ones would all be colored in, but where it overlaps is your answer. 12 out of a possible 54. And this can be simplified. If I cut this down so that there's only, there's 3 on this side, and so I divide this by 2, and I divide this by 3, so I cut 3 lines off of each of these and 2 lines off of each of these. We get the same thing, 2 out of 9. 2 purple ones out. Okay, so this is how you do it just on paper, and this would be what it actually means, how you would draw it. These 2 or these 4 in your book. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, the correct answers are 4/81. I cannot get this any simpler. So 2 times 2 is 4. 9 times 9 is 81. 4/81. Number 2, 48/90 is probably what you got. This can be simplified. You can make it simpler. 16/30 would be correct. Okay. Multiply 12 and 6, that's 72. 19 times 7 is 133. This is as simple as it gets. So you cannot simplify this. And then this one, 9 times 3 is 27. 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, this is pretty simple. So this is the improper fraction, but it can also equal this mixed number, 1 and 9/16. I cannot simplify this any further. All right. I want you to draw a picture in your notebook, kind of like this one. These 3. So draw these 3 in your notebook. Show 1/3 times 4/5. Go ahead and pause it. All right. your picture might look something like this. So you've got 1 out of 3 shaded in here, a box that's the same size. 4 out of 5 of them are shaded in. If I squish these boxes together, there's 15 total boxes in there, and 4 of them are overlapping, a little darker. So the answer is 4/15, and simpler. All right. Next, let's try dividing fractions. So what you're going to do for dividing fractions. Step 1, flip the second fraction over. This is also called turning it into its reciprocal. So you take this first fraction and you flip it upside down, or the second fraction, sorry. Do not flip this fraction, flip the second fraction. If you flip the first fraction, you'll get a different answer and an incorrect answer. You must flip the second answer, or the second fraction. So instead of 4/6 divided by 3/9, this is the same as 4/6 times 9/3. So I just flipped this one upside down. Then I changed the sign from division to multiplication. Now it's just a multiplying problem. Okay, so 4 times 9 is 36. 6 times 3 is 18. I can simplify this. It is 2/1. So to recap, flip this one over and then multiply. To draw a picture of what's going on, what this is asking, this problem is asking 3/4 divided by 1/8. It's asking how many times does 1/8 fit into 3/4. So if I have 3/4 and I have 1 out of 8, how many eighths fit into these 3/4? Well, I can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths into 3/4. And I should get the exact same answer here. So if I do 3/4 divided by 1/8, it's 3/4 times 8/1. I get 24/4. So if I drew the multiplication, it'd be those boxes, and 24 out of the 4 would be filled in. Okay, and I'd get 6/1. How many times does 3/8 fit into 3/4? Okay, so it's the same problem, but now instead of just 1/8, it's 3/8. So this counts as 1, this counts as 2. 2 of them would fit in there. And if you notice, I can do the math this way and I get the exact same answer. All right, try these in your notebook. Notice they're the same problems, it's just a division sign instead of a multiplication sign. Go ahead and pause it. All right, the correct answers are 18/18. When you divide a fraction by itself, you get 1. All right. 8 divided by 10, or 8/10 divided by 6/9. So I flip it over, and then I'd get 8 times 9 is 72, and then 10 times 6 is 60. So I get 72/60. It simplifies. If I divide by 12, I get 6/5. 12 times 7 is 84. 19 times 6 is, and I get 42/57. I cannot make that any simpler. Number 4, 9 times 2 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24. And if I divide both of these by 6, I get 3/4. Okay. Draw a picture to show 3/5 divided by 3/10. Go ahead and pause it. Your picture might look something like this. Okay, so here's the actual part. 3/5 divided by 3/10. Flip this one over. 3 times 10 is 30. 5 times 3 is 15. Get 2 over 1. So here we have 3/5. Here we have 3 out of 10. If I have 2, I get 3/5. You can also say, so 3/10 fits 2 times into 3/5, or you could also say 3/5 is twice as large as 3/10. That is all for this to go to Google Classrooms and complete the questions on dividing fractions. That's it for this video. I'll see you next time.